afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time in December. Would you believe it? We are in December now, December 1st. And it's not a bad day out there considering December. It could be snowy. It's not beach weather, but we'll take it. It's kind of like the view you see behind me. And I have another Zoom show tonight. A gentleman named Griffin Spencer. Is that it?
It's Griffin Harper. Griffin Harper.
Harper, yeah. I'm sorry. My bad.
No worries.
Okay, Griffin Harper. I don't know why I thought Spencer. I think of Spencer's it's a great, what do you call it? A department store for gifts this time of year. So I guess I got the Christmas.
Right, yeah.
Griffin Harper. Got it, Griffin. Sorry about that. Okay, but we'll make sure to get the graphics right when we get you, they're squared away. But before we start with you, got to read these incredible underwriters, and then we will commence per usual. So I want to thank Auto Country, king of the used car in Abington, #1 in the dealer ratings for Massachusetts for 2021. Been with me since the beginning. Great customer service. In Abington, we got them. We got Radiologist 101 Barbershop in Brockton. We got Printed Expressions and Gifts in Brockton. They're in no one. We got Auto Town Auto Glass installed in Abington. We got John's Greenhouses and Florist Shop in Brockton. We got Johnny Macaroni's Restaurants, 2 in East Bridgewater, 1 in Halifax. We got Caves, Cans, and Bottles in Braintree. They're in no one. We got Rebel Hair Studio in Norwell, featuring hair restoration in the Premier Fiber Blast Plasma Pen in Norwell. We got Royal Pizza in Raynham. We got Advanced, the Rebel Hair Studio was a new one, but we had it last night also at my other location. We got Royal Pizza in Raynham. We got Advanced Auto Performance in Brockton. Best Mechanic Auto Body Work and Tires. We got 111 Tattoo Collective in Brockton. We got Personal Best Karate, instructor Kirk George in Easton, right there in Easton. We got Lynch's Towing Auto Cycle in Truck Center in Brockton, 1 number for towing, 1 number for project. Always looking for new scrap metal wheels, anything to do with transportation. My pal Lynchy can handle over there. We got RW Carpet and Flooring in Norton. We got Capone's Pizzeria in East Weymouth. They're in no one. We got the Gunrunner LLC in Middleborough, your Second Amendment Freedom Store. We get Doggy Boutique, all breed professional grooming for dogs and cats, run by my great next door neighbor, Debbie Siddell in Brockton. We got Easton Fitness right in the Village Shops in Northeastern. We got Grant's Rental in Bridgewater, and we got Joe's Diner in Taunton. And I want to thank you guys very much. And now, Griffin Harper, to you, we focus the rest of the show. So thank you for doing my show today. I know you were referred to me by one Zeke. Studaker, right? His last name was hard to pronounce. Yours is
it really is. I can never get it right.
Okay, well, we won't worry about that, but because we're focusing on you. So, all right, so you're a musician and you got some stuff we're going to hear on SoundCloud about halfway through the show.
Yeah.
Okay, but like what I do with all my guests is I'm going to profile you, specifically first. Tell me about yourself. You don't look too old. You look like you're, probably in your early to mid 20s, I'm guessing, if that.
I'm 19, actually.
Yeah. Okay, that's pretty cool. I would have said, or maybe lower.
Yeah,
okay.
Sorry.
Or maybe lower, maybe less. And you are.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows, right?
Actually, my guest I had on my other location last night was 19 also. 19 rules right now.
Wow.
Hey, 19. Great song by Steely Dan from Gaucho album, 1980. I don't know if you're ever familiar with this with Steely.
No, I'm not. I know some Steely Dan. I'm not familiar with that particular song.
You know the band
of course.
Oh, good. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, that came out in 1980. The song called "Hey 19." It was
19.
Yeah, but it came. Yeah, so no, you weren't even around then. Obviously, if you're 19 now, you couldn't have been around in 1980. Obviously. No. Okay. All right. Well, you're 19. And you're in New Hampshire. Whereabouts in New Hampshire are you?
I'm in Hollis right now. So
I love Hollis. Yeah, I go up there. I haven't been there in a while, but I go up there to walk. You cross right over the state line from Pepperell, Mass, Route 111.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It is a great area. You got that Beaverbrook Park there and all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, did you go up in New Hampshire?
I did grow up in New Hampshire. I grew up in Salem for most of my life, and then I moved here a few years back, and now I'm kind of between here and Boston. So.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Now, when you say you're between here and there in Boston, does that mean for work, going to perform music and stuff like that?
Yeah, kind of. I was working at the Middle East for a bit, which was pretty fun.
That's in Cambridge, isn't it?
That is in Cambridge, yeah. And then, yeah, you did get that one.
All right.
And then right now I'm kind of just looking for work, but focusing on an EP that I'm pretty invested in for SoundCloud, and not just SoundCloud, but other streaming services as well. So
Okay, I
Yeah.
understand. Well, how many others would you say?
Sorry.
How many do you work with now? Are you involved with?
Oh, how many people?
No, well, well, what are people are, whatever they call it, services for creating sound.
Oh, well, right now I'm just on SoundCloud. I think that, I kind of like to mediate on my own music for a bit. And then I think I'm at a kind of junction right now where I can sort of say that this is where I want to be with it. And I'm comfortable releasing what I want to release.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
So how were you trained musically? Are you self-taught? Did you go to school for it or what? How did that work?
So I like to say I'm self-taught, but I was really just a bad student. My
Me too.
parents, yeah, my parents gave me some guitar lessons growing up, which was nice. I played piano when I was younger, as well as drums. So
All right, so did you go to school for music at all, anywhere, or did you take it up? At any schools?
I did go to Berkeley actually
did?
for
Okay.
a couple weeks, and then I decided to drop out. It just really wasn't the education that I felt like I wanted to experience with
Okay,
music.
I understand. You
Yeah.
didn't happen to know Charlie Fuzinski there, did you?
Charlie Fuzinski.
Yeah, they call him Fuse. He does fusion jazz. He teaches it. He plays it. 10 years ago, I actually did a show. When I was doing Topic Time on the road, I did a show at Berkeley one night, and we took about 50 minutes, 50 of an hour-long show. 50 minutes were at Berkeley listening to some guys play fusion jazz, and the last 10 minutes we're in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, at a handmade guitar factory. It's the building being like 110 years old at the time.
Right. Yeah.
But you're not familiar with him, I guess.
I sadly not.
You were only there for a couple of weeks. All right, so you didn't feel it was right for you. So, well, so I assume that wasn't too long ago. If you're 19 now, I assume you probably must have been.
Yeah. That was about a year ago. Then I took
Okay.
some classes at Nashua Community College, which
Okay.
went pretty well. So, I think I'm kind of an eclectic person. I have a lot of different interests.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, tell me some of your other interests besides music.
Well, my SoundCloud name is Cork Collector. So,
Okay.
I mean,
Cork, like CORK?
no, QUARK.
Oh, Quirk. Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know, like
You're a
particle
quirky guy. I
physics.
get it. I'm quirky.
Yeah,
Hey, listen,
sure.
I know. Hey,
Yeah.
quirk rules. Quirkiness rules, man. That's the way it
Right.
should. All right. Have you ever done anything? I'm just curious, aside from music, have you ever done anything like with literature? Have you ever played any sports, anything like that? Anything in entertainment?
Yeah. I mean, I played rec soccer when I was young. That was fun.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm not particularly up to date on any of the new soccer tribunals that are going on around the world.
Okay, but you liked it. You enjoyed the game. Okay. Yeah, you look like you could be a soccer guy. I can see that.
Yeah.
So getting back to music, tell me, like, what would you consider your genre right now?
Kind of like low fidelity alt rock.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anybody that you emulate? Any musicians that you really admire? For their?
Tyler, the Creator. He's amazing as a musician. He creates all his own beats and melodies.
Okay.
There are really tons of people that I look up to. Kurt Cobain, Lane Staley.
You look a little like him. I know.
I think it's just the hair. The roots are still brown though. So.
Well, yeah, but I don't look that closely at a guy's hair. I mean, for me, you look like a rock star, without a doubt, and he did too.
Oh, well, I could say the same thing about you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that's nothing wrong with that. I just hope you take your life a little, in a nicer right than he took his, obviously.
Right.
But, no, but I understand. I know. I mean, I was wondering that because you do sort of emulate that appearance of being a rock star. Have you ever been in a band before, or do you play primarily alone?
So in high school, I was in a lot of like punk bands.
Okay,
You know, we played our own thing, kind of annoyed my parents in my basement.
okay.
Right now I'm trying to get a band together in Boston, which has been really fun and it's been a good experience, but drummers are hard to come by. So
But I thought but aren't you a drummer too? But you
I
need,
am a drummer, but I have a lot of songs that I've written.
yep.
So it would be nice to kind of get some of those out into you know how like the Pixies, you know, like switch instruments around, stuff like that. Yeah, lots of harmony.
I should know what Pixies are. What are they?
The Pixies were a band that started out in Boston, actually.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Back in must have been the 80s, late 80s.
Okay. I interviewed this guy, Woody Giesman from the band the Del Fuegos, also out of Boston, back about 2 months ago. And they were around in the 70s and 80s too.
Okay.
You know, I don't know if they still perform anymore. Woody Giesman he's 64, so he's a year older than I am. But he looks like he could still perform if he wanted
Right.
to. All right. Now, when you say you're going to Boston to look to, to set up a band, how do you do that? I mean, who do you approach and where?
You know, that is something that you should tell me.
Well,
You seem
well,
pretty
I'll give you
good.
some ideas, but when I'm trying to find
Yeah,
out
yeah.
what you've done
My
so,
bad,
what
my
you've
bad.
done so far.
I don't know. For the most part, it just seems to be like a trial and error sort of thing.
I understand.
Yeah, you meet people, and you know, if you're lucky, they want to bang some bongos with you.
Well, speaking of that, we're about halfway through the show, and we're gonna watch a little of Griffin's, hear a little of Griffin's sounds and look at some of the cover pictures from his work, and then we'll be right back to talk about it. So without further ado, stay tuned and we'll be right back.
She's learned a million ways to say goodbye too late, and so his head is gone, replaced with sleepless yawn, and my brain and my blood cells climbing down through the motel windows that you and I should know. I'm insane, serotonin brings me pain and emotions while I lie, making angels in the snow. She's fled 1,000 times between closing lines, dreaming of the day when they fly away, and my brain and my blood cells climbing down through the motel windows that you and I should know. I'm insane, serotonin brings me pain and emotion while I lie, making angels in the snow.
We just listened to, and tell me about those pictures we just looked at and what we just looked.
Yeah, so the one picture is for the cover of my song Motel, and the other is for the cover of my song Eyes. Both of which are kind of in the direction of the EP that I was referring to earlier. I have a lot of songs on my SoundCloud that are in different veins.
Okay.
If you're interested in that, feel free to check it out. Yeah.
I will. Okay. That was swell. Okay. You know, you asked me to tell you what I think you should do. Have you ever performed? I know it's kind of cold now because it's December, but during the warm weather months, have you ever gone to Faneuil Hall and just stood out there and performed, you know, in front of the public, you know, people passing by, maybe throwing dollar bills at you? I'm just wondering, would you ever consider that? For some reason, I think you'd be pretty good at that. I think you get a pretty good pick up a following.
No, that's definitely on the bucket list.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, I think something like that could be really fun. But
and then you can meet up with other people that might want to jam with you. That's the other thing.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a phenomenal idea. Yeah.
Well, those are the kind we try to come up with on Topic Time. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so now, but that having been said, what about some of the people that you jammed with in high school? I mean, do you still keep in touch with them? You're obviously around, right?
Yeah, my bassist is actually he's going to aviation school. And
I did something like that.
Well, my old bassist, yeah. He's very talented pilot. And
I wasn't
my
a talented pilot. That's why I don't do it anymore. I would have crashed and burned, but I get it. That's great.
yeah. And my old drummer that I play with, he's actually going to art school right now. So he is working on a comic. I'm not totally sure what it's going to be called, but I've seen some of the panels and it's looking phenomenal. So
I'm glad you told me that. And that having been said, maybe you could help him with it. Maybe you could bounce some ideas off him. Maybe,
yeah. Who knows?
I mean, you seem like an intuitive guy. Like you probably have a lot of ideas floating around in your brain that could be put to creative use. And it sounds to me like this would be the perfect. So aside from the music, this would be perfect. And then at some point you can go back to doing music. Maybe you could help him do a cartoon about musicians. I think that would be pretty.
That would be fun. Yeah.
Maybe take visual sketches of what your band was like in high school and put it into a cartoon strip. I bet a lot of people would read that. Is that what he's doing? Is he like? Does he have? As you say, he's going to school.
His is a little bit more gothic than that. He's kind of into more dark imagery.
Yeah, the horror stuff, right?
Yeah.
But that can still put music in there. Maybe you could. Well, what about this? What about the idea of you and him creating like a dark theme song for his cartoons and then putting it in the background, making an animated series out of it and turning it into.
Right.
Like, what about
that would be phenomenal. I mean, yeah. I mean, animation though, that takes a whole team. I have another friend of mine who I saw one of their first animations earlier today.
Okay.
And it was a very simple but very effective animation. And I think because of that, it was the amount of time that it took to put into it.
Okay.
That, you know, and I mean, I think that right now, you know, just time is so important for, you know, me to focus on as someone who looks up to people like you who have so many people who they have related to. I mean, I don't want to put myself in a box where, you know, this is what Griffin does, you know?
Right, but that's what I'm saying. I tell this to just about everybody that I interview. The more multifaceted you are, the more opportunities you're going to have for advancement in life, no matter what. I mean, I had, like last year, I had this really beautiful singer-songwriter model on the show, and we're still getting thousands of views for that show. But I told her during the interview, you might want to try doing some acting too, because, you know, you never know if what are their names? I can't think of the guys that created I can't think of them. They're a couple of brothers from Rhode Island, and they did this film called There's Something About Mary a bunch of years ago.
Okay.
The Bellamy brothers, the Farrelly brothers. Yeah, if they asked Taylor Swift to do a film, she jumped at the chance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever done any acting too at all?
I was in my kindergarten production of Going Buggy. That was pretty fun. Yeah. I don't know. I was the mayor bug, so all the bugs went to me for their problems, and you know, we figured all that out. Yeah. So, I mean, if you're looking for a lead role, if you can find a copy of Going Buggy somewhere, I'm your guy.
Hug bug, I guess. They'll hug you because you saved them from a life of being squashed, I guess.
Yes, something of the sort.
You know, now right there, that's something. That's a perfect idea for something animated. Just a bug story. Think about it.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
Well, I mean, you got a bug's life, right?
Right.
Right.
You might as well bug people with it, right?
Might as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, all right. So you did that in kindergarten. Okay. So any other people involved in your band? And that guy that's the pilot? What was, now he was your what? He was your bass player, you say?
Yeah, he played bass very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what about the idea? So I mean, but right now you really don't have time. They don't have time to jam anymore for a while they're doing.
Well, they're off at college. I managed to see them last week, which was
okay. So you still do see them.
Yeah, you know, I mean, getting together with old friends is always a great thing to do, especially around Thanksgiving.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
And it's a great excuse to jam some more too.
Well, we didn't quite get to, but you know, it was a good
all right.
time.
But then again, remember, now look, we're doing a Zoom interview right now. Now, I don't know how far away your friends are at school, but consider this, if you will, the possibility that maybe you could do some musical collaboration through Zoom with them. That you could be at different locations, but because of Zoom, you could create a unity. I haven't seen anybody actually do that. I bet it would be pretty cool.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
I've seen a few people do that online actually. My worry personally is I've attempted to collaborate with people in the past and there's just a lot of latency issues.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, for the most part, it's a wonderful idea and a lot of people managed to kind of break through that.
I thought it had been an original me, but it's not, and that's fine. At least.
Hey, I mean, if you manage to get some people to do it, it could be an original you, right?
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
All right. Have you ever done anything? Do you know how to do like video editing or anything like that? Anything in production of film, even though not acting, but like.
I'm trying to learn. I'm not particularly adept at it and I'm still looking for proper software, but
okay. Well, the reason I'm asking you is because I'm thinking, have you ever done a music video at all with your band or even just by yourself?
No.
Story. Well, that's something you should definitely.
That's something I should do.
Definitely.
Okay.
That's why. Yeah, I mean, it's something you get it on YouTube, get it out there. Then people will know who you are. Then they might want to jam with you or at least maybe hire you out to perform somewhere.
Right.
Yeah. And given that you do so much writing, that would be an opportunity right there, just to create, just write like I guess what they call is like they call a storyboard and something, and then creating a story, getting some. Maybe rounding up some actors and actresses, getting some pretty girls in the video. You definitely need those if you can find them.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. And great something. I mean, I'll tell you what, I'll watch a great music video over a long 2.5 hour movie anytime.
Yeah.
I'll watch them over and over again. I don't care. I'll sit home on my TV and turn on YouTube. I got, the great thing about being in the 21st century is that any song that, at least for me, as a kid, I used to go out and buy 45s regularly. I'd go over to the K's record store we used to have in Brockton, where I live, Brockton, Mass. And I'd buy a 45, stick them on the spool, and eventually the phonograph needle would scratch them and they'd sound crappy. Now you can, any song you want, you can see performed by any band that you want, going back as far back as you can remember on YouTube. And
Yeah, it's a phenomenal thing.
it is, and you could definitely be part of that if you, I think you'd be great at that if you gave it a shot. If you haven't done it, then I would suggest you do.
I should definitely look into that. Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
You got it. And on that note, Griffin, we're down to the final 5 minutes of the show. I hope you had a good time with me.
I had a phenomenal time with you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks. You were a great guest. So, like I said at the beginning, what I'd like you to do is to just give a few shouts out to people that they're going to see the show. The reason I asked about the people you jammed with, I think you might want to say, give them a hello or whatever, because they're going to
Oh
see
yeah.
family members, parents, whatever. And then we'll
So,
wrap the show up with my music the way we began it.
all right, sounds great. So to Sam, Mike, Kyler, my mom, my dad, my sister, I appreciate all of you. Thank you for all of the support you've given me. And yeah, I look forward to jamming with you more in the future.
Well, and that having been said, if you had a good time with me, I hope you can get me, if you can get me more guests, that would be great. Other people that might see the show, that might want to do it. Some of the people you just
Yeah.
perhaps.
Oh, for sure. I'll look
Got my
into it.
digits. I'm an open book. Have them text me, call me, whatever, and we'll set something up.
All right.
All right, now, do you have any, just before we wrap the show up, do you have anything on the horizon that that you got any gigs planned in the near future that you might have not, that you want to mention?
No gigs right now.
Anything at
But
all that you want to mention that you got coming up?
if you want to check out my Instagram, like I said before, it's same as my SoundCloud, Cork Collector, QUARK Collector. And I have updates on music and kind of projects that I'm working on there pretty consistently. And I think that if you're interested in me and any of the music that you heard today, it's definitely worth checking out. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, one last thing I'm going to ask. If once we wrap the show up, I need you to make sure that you send those clips, through the email, like we discussed.
Right.
And wondering if you'd stick around and do pictures for Facebook that my tech guy will take after we wrap the show up for a few seconds, few minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, all right. So you ready to wrap the show up the way we began it? With
Yeah,
my
let's
music?
wrap it up.
Okay, folks, thanks for watching Topic Time. Let's have a great final month of 2022 as all the months have been for Topic Time, and keep it going. See you next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.